I'm the director here at the temple. And if you haven't been here before, welcome to the temple. You're in our co-working space. This is the former Masonic Temple building that a nonprofit now. We own this and we take care of it and we're repurposing it. We have spaces here for shared spaces for businesses to get started and private spaces and lots of event space. So if you're looking to get something started, talk to me. But tonight is Startup Salina, and we'd like to welcome Tia Westling, who is the Charlie Walker recipient for the Charlie Walker Challenge. And she started a business downtown, Kids Create Corners. So we're really happy to have you here tonight.
Thank you. I'm going to get real splotchy, so I'm just going to let you know. So
I do the same thing. And
Yeah.
I'll have to be your clicker.
Oh, thanks.
My clicker is in Kentucky.
Okay, well, like she said,
He's got
I
my
have the
clicker.
honor of Kids Creative Corners. We are a exploration center downtown, and let me do this.
Oh, there we go.
And actually, this is actually part of the presentation day was what I gave for the Charlie Walker competition. And it was kind of cool. If you are a member of the chamber, I always advise people to do that because I did my grant through the chamber, and that's how I found out about this. So I wouldn't have even known about this competition before. I've actually had so many of my friends who are owning businesses and I'm like, how did you even know about this? It just fell in my lap of greatness that they sent me a message, and they actually sent my husband it because he owns a business. So they sent him first, and he was mad because he was like, I don't apply for this, and I did. So it really went great. And so this is my why, and this is my family. My husband James, and then we have 3 kids. We have Albrina, Leighton, and Micah. And I was originally a teacher, so I just left the field after 9 years. And I love teaching. Had nothing to do with why I left. My husband is a play-by-play announcer, and so starting in about 2 weeks, I am a single mother until March, maybe later. And so our lives just don't work for me to be an 8-to-5 job. And we don't have a lot of family that lives around here. So we needed someone to shuffle all the children around and be the main base. And so we just needed a different lifestyle. And so, but for me, and all power to stay-at-home moms fully, but for me, that wasn't kind of like enough to fulfill me. And then I also, because my age gap, it is hard in this town to take your kids with age gaps to places. I would take my daughter to trampoline park, and then I'd be scared holding my children, my little ones, that we were going to break something, or we're at toddler time and she is just not happy. So I was like, we go to exploration centers all around. Anytime we go on vacations, anything, we go to exploration centers. So why not bring this to Salina?
Sorry, my clicker's being, there we go.
And so our mission is to provide an environment where kids and families can play and explore together to provide educational classes through the world of play. We officially opened February 1st at 22. So in yellow, right on top. Oh, you're fine. And what we are, so this is kind of the shot of everything. Everything is 4-foot walls and under, so that as a family, I really looked at it as a mom perspective. So anyone who's probably not that won't really feel appreciative of that. But everything is 4-foot walls or lower so that you can see all your ranges of kids. We have STEM rooms, we have sensory play, we have imagination play, art, and fine and gross motor, and then a big soft play area right in the middle where it's 3 and under. So if you're sitting there with your little, you can look out to the whole facility. We switch things up. So like this construction zone is actually gone as of right now. It's a massive, it'll be on the next slide, but it's a big campground. So we switch it up so it doesn't get boring. The areas are the same, but the play within it is different. Our sensory tubs change every month. We switch out some things. Our entire imagination play, it's a cave right now, a campground, and then we're getting ready to change it in September to an entire pumpkin patch and animal farm. So we don't change. Yeah. I'm excited because when I did the challenge, I was way too new and I didn't have any classes that I offered at the time. So now we offer a lot right now. We're getting ready. I get certified on Sunday for my baby and mommy yoga class. We have a messy play, which is so fun. We have a big party room in the back. So we line it out and everything's edible and they just come in and it's all a theme and it's for 3 and under. Sometimes we make it 5 if multiples, but they just get messy and it's just all sensory, nothing that someone wants in their house. So I try to create things in my center that a parent doesn't want in their house. They just want to go play and walk away. Our campground right here, this is a rock climbing wall. Then we have our wiggle wobble class with our wobble boards. We've been doing a lot of camps this summer. So this is our Lego camp. We designed some Legos. And then we have like a scribble, spot emotions class. We're doing STEM. And then we do a date night drop off. So I am downtown, and downtown has the first Friday of the month every month. And so we match up with them and we do a drop off date night. So you can drop your kids off and then enjoy something downtown for 2 hours. Okay, the process of the business side. So I was a kindergarten teacher, business side, not my forte. So that has been a learning curve, still a learning curve. So I will tell you, I am learning every day new things. So we started researching in January of 2021. The business plan and looking for space took about 2 months. Just business plan. My husband is a freak about finance. He could be a financial advisor, be his other like lifelong dream. So my business plan was pretty intense because I kind of had to present it to him before I presented it to any bank or anyone. So the banks were really happy when I presented it to them because it was, I guess, a pretty good business plan. It was about 20 pages and full. And then it took about 4 months to get all the ducks in a row. So once we found the location, it was just a game of working with the chamber, working with everyone. That is one thing I love being downtown, but it is an extra step in a process to be downtown. That is one thing I've learned. I would say anything with starting up a business, like if you can rent this space, that seems like a great thing because if you have to do a full architect gut in a building, it's just a lot longer of a process. And if you're not patient like me, it's extremely frustrating. Like right now, I'm trying to get licensed for this new thing, and we're on day, I think, 102 of waiting, and I don't even go up for the process till the August 16th, and that's maybe if I get cleared. So it's just a process. And I know when she's in the process of starting something, it's just a waiting game. It's a long process. We signed and started the build in October of 2021. And like I said, it was my husband's busy season. So what we do is my parents would come spend the night at our house. I would leave at 9 o'clock at night. I would go work at the facility till 3 or 4 in the morning every night because we had a contractor, but we were kind of doing a little bit both. And so that was kind of our life until February 1st. And then some advice I'd say, if you are building, find you an architect that you trust and work well with. I didn't know this from the business side, but I learned to get anything done, construction, you just need to talk to an architect because there's all the codes and everything. I just find an architect you love. I just called him yesterday crying and I was like, help me, what am I not understanding about this? And he was like, hold on, let me call this person. Let me get you through the loopholes. Architects get you through loopholes. I don't know how, but they're masterminds. They just get you through loopholes. And then have a realist if you are the dreamer on your team. I'm the dreamer. My husband's the realist. So I just was like, I'm going to create this and we're going to open. I'm going to quit my job and we're just going to do everything. And he's like, no, you're not. So this is why also it took like a long time. He's like, we're going to plan this out and everything. And that's been the best. And I've had a couple of people who are just like, okay, let's reel it down. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to just spend this money and I'm going to build this and go. And then I also building part of my team. I found a mentor that is not Salina. I would say if you're starting a business that has any competition that's the same as you, don't ask someone in your own hometown. I would go out elsewhere. So I have a mentor that she has helped me through everything. The first years are really hard. Right now I'm finding out that it's actually way more work than I ever thought juggling all the rest of my life. And so she has just been great when there's been like down months or anything. I'm in a stressful situation. I just call her and she's like, you're good. Here's how you fix it. She's had her business for 3 more years than me. And so she's been just amazing. So I would say find your mentor, but not in the same competition in this town because it's small business. So they're looking for the same thing. And then be prepared for it to consume your life. I put my babies down and then if you're a person that needs sleep, probably don't do it. I don't need sleep, so I really work on like 4 hours of sleep a day, pretty much. I just don't sleep. So for me, it's great. I put babies down and I just start working. And then 1 or 2, my husband's like, see you later, like we're going to bed, and I'm like, nope, still gotta finish this. So and then be prepared to change your mindset, but stick to your beliefs. I never actually meant to run as many classes on my center. It was just really more of an open play. But from the business side, financial side, I needed to rethink things. So I had to flip my whole mindset. I've been getting certified in a bunch of things because it's just kind of a trade that I had to look at. And then starting my business, I have a pretty big personality, which it helped me because a lot of people came at me with how I should run it. And I still to this day, people come in and inform me how I should be running it. And I just think you have to have tough skin and say, no, that's actually not going to happen. So I would just say that's been the hardest thing of everyone critiquing you. I thought I had thick skin until I opened the business, and then it's been really hard with just everyone critiquing you and all that. And then when you put your passion into it and it doesn't work or something doesn't work, that's been hard. So it's just been a learning curve. But so we're trying. So we're working out some things and pair up with everyone. So I've paired up with a lot of resources in town. The chamber was one. They've been amazing. I've worked with a lot of the childcare. I've been to some of their meetings. I'm now on a board of, I don't know the name because I just got it yesterday, so I've got to figure out what that board is. But like, they just gave me information. But just all those resources, I feel like that's really helped me out. I've tried to partner with a lot of people, like the restaurants downtown. I've only partnered with small businesses. So I do not, like, I have sponsorships in my center, and none of them are chains. So I would say the biggest thing is linking with other businesses who are going through the same thing, and Salina has helped me make those connections because I just say, I now get it. I get your side in before I didn't get your side. And now, wow, I look at Salina a whole different way than I ever did before because I was raised here. So I just look at it. But yeah, do you want me to talk about that competition?
Sure, talk about your experience with the pitch competition. Have you all heard about, we had a Charlie Walker Entrepreneurial Pitch Challenge last February?
March, because I was open for a month.
It was March.
Yeah.
And so we had 11 contestants apply, and they gave a 5-minute pitch to a panel of judges. And first prize received $8,000, second prize received $5,000, and third prize received $3,000. And Tia was our second place winner. So talk about, and we plan to do that, I believe, I know it's in March again, and I think it's late March. Let me pull up, but yeah.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool. So you had to have a business plan. You had to be, was it 2 years or 3 years?
3 years.
The first 3 years of being open, your business, and then you were judged on your business plan, your pitch. I don't know, there was a third category, but now I don't remember.
Video.
The video, yes, I took the video. I'm like, there was a third one. So you had to send a video in. The only thing is there weren't like stipulations. So after watching some other people's videos, I'm like, oh, that got me second. I could have done my video different, but you had to do a 2-minute video. And then you had to get up in front of a live panel, and I did a presentation kind of like this. It was pretty close to it. And then they asked some questions. So it was kind of like Shark Tank because I didn't get to see anyone do it before me. So that was kind of interesting. So I didn't know what any of the pitches were before I went, which probably is good because it might just make you nervous.
It was done on purpose.
Yeah, yeah. So I probably would have been a mess going up there. So yeah, it was kind of cool. It was like a little mini slime Shark Tank.
So talking about your business plan, because I think that's where most people get hung up. What kind of resources did you use to write your business plan? I mean, did you have? I Googled everything. Like I Googled YMCA because mine's a kid center. So YMCA Kids Center, I Googled every like thing in Kansas nationwide of what indoor play facilities. But the problem is they're all grand scale, and I needed to scale mine to a lot smaller of a scale. And so luckily that lady in Manhattan I found, she was like a gold mine, my mentor, and she helped me a lot. She was like, hey, that's not realistic. And like the numbers, and even now my numbers are not what I was based off someone from like Sky Trampoline, which I'm finding out ours is just a different clientele.
And so I started looking up indoor play facility business plans. And I just took each section of different ones and then tried to like scale it down of what would maybe be realistic to Salina. So I looked at sky numbers. What else's numbers did I look at? I looked at like even on the pot, just any kid thing in Salina and then surrounding areas. I looked, there was a place in Wichita, and unfortunately for her, her business was going under when I was starting. So I was looking at what she did that didn't work, of what she did. And so, but I had every plan. So I had plan A, plan B, plan C. This is worst case scenario of people coming in. This is best case scenario. So, and then extra ways to bring income in. So that was another thing, like my camps, I knew I had those on the back burner because I needed a way, if my numbers weren't that, how could I get income a different way? And then the only problem is I decided to open during like a recession, so it's just like working on it. And then the price has been, I changed it. Before I opened, I probably changed my price 10 times. I just couldn't figure out what the sweet spot was and what was gonna make people happy or mad. And it's still just like, here it is, and we're not changing it, but you know, we've had people, we're getting ready to change our hours even now because after last year during the school year, I've noticed that like nap time for my clientele probably shouldn't be open during nap time. It's not good for me. I'm just losing a lot of business. And so I am getting ready to launch and be open in the evenings now where it wasn't before. And I'll be open during the day a little bit, but then during the evenings when we're doing classes and stuff. So, and if it's gonna work, I don't know. It's all just like guessing game right now. I'm still just in the heat of it. So I have my sweet little scare program that just tracks everything and my little projections that I look at. So that's helped. Yeah.
And you were Project Open. Did you go through Project Open?
Yes.
So you took the classes. Did you take the 2 classes?
Okay, so I did not. Because my husband went through you guys that we were grandfathered in because he's technically my business partner. So I technically did not, but he did, but I went through all the communication with it. So, and that was another thing. He had gone through the classes, so he really was like he's on the back. He doesn't get like the show of the rewards of it, but he really did help me out like so much on the business side. And find you a good accountant. I will tell you that if you don't know anything about money, which I don't do anything with our money. So if you're going to do a lot of transactions and things, just budget for an accountant. We just have him because also the taxes and things. There's just so many parts you don't know about what your category is of your business. And so there were some like I didn't know I had to be taxed for paying my employees, and I didn't. So, but I would never caught that, so my accountant did. So I would say hire a good accountant and just factor that is well. If your first year is well worth it, if you are not in that category of your business.
Anybody?
So you got paid employees.
Yes, I get taxed.
If you have one, it's just like having 50. You know, because you still have
It's a
to do
big
the same
amount.
process.
It's really sad each month.
You still have to do the same process.
Yeah.
Under 50.
Yeah, it's really, that one got me. I'm not gonna lie, the first time he emailed me and said, okay, here's how much you got taxed for paying your employees. I said, I already paid them. Don't they get taxed? He said, they do too. Okay, which I didn't budget for those things. So that is one learning curve that's kind of hit me, is there's just a lot of fees that I didn't even know it existed when I started business, so I couldn't account for them. And then here we are. So just trying to figure it out at this point because I didn't even know they existed. So, yeah. And like downtown, there's just different regulations.
Yeah, that's another.
Yeah, I got another fee there that I didn't know existed when I started. So, yeah. There's been a lot of just extras that you just don't know about.
And like I said, when you look at other communities, it's like, well, other communities, each community is somewhat unique. And especially when you go downtown in Salina, there are additional things.
Yeah, it's been a different one. It's been like a great thing, but also there's like good and bad. So it's been amazing downtown. but then there's extra just loopholes you have to go through to be downtown. And so just finding those out, like right now. If I would anywhere else, my license, this new one I'm going for would have been passed and I would have been done 102 days ago, but since I'm downtown, yes, I've passed the hoop again. So, yeah.
Do you do any like external marketing to help your business?
So that was another thing I learned. I thought just being from Salina and this town that if I just made a cute Facebook page and had my Salina moms, all my friends, I thought that was enough of marketing. So now my husband actually, he works for the radio, so he's helped me with that part. So we do, that's been helpful too. But I know the first month I opened, I was like, where are all the people? I was in the newspaper, I was in my Salina moms group, like, where are all the moms? I'm a little confused. And so, yeah, I've had to do like a bunch of social media ads, and like we were in the parade last night because I was like, okay, how else can you get your name out in Salina? I just thought it was really easy. I don't know why, but I still all the time have people that are like, we just heard about you. I don't know how else to get my name out here. And like the snow cone place thing, I think they're in the temple. Like I called her, that's why I've tried to like link up with partners in Salina to get them their word out as well. Like Revive, they're a women's group that's new this year. And I know they're kind of like the same as me trying to just get out there. So we linked up and did an Easter picture together so that I could bring the kids in the Easter bunny, but they were there also to just try to get their business out. So just trying to get the word out because it is a lot harder than what I'm still figuring that part out. Because I'm like, I don't know how else I can get my name out there. I don't know how else I can help people out here.
What if you do like little flyer in the mail?
Direct marketing.
The chamber net, but that,
It's a lot
Yeah,
of work to do.
yeah.
Business card everywhere.
I know. Well, the next thing is I'm about to start walking and just slap them up, be like, thank you. Yeah, so those things, I'm just like, oh, so I gave out flyers, actually I have a flyer for all of you for the parade. Yeah, we're just figuring out marketing. And then the other thing is I only budgeted a certain amount for that marketing and didn't realize how much marketing, which my husband's in marketing, so I don't know why I didn't actually just like talk to him about that part. But yeah, I didn't factor that I needed that much money for marketing and advertisement, and you just do. And so that was another thing that just surprised and I'm still working at.
You say you've got split schedule, so what are your hours coming up?
So they're getting ready to, they're going 9 to 1, and then we close and then we open from 4 to 6 because I run my classes in between 4 and 6. And like when you were there, your little guy played really well, but you couldn't play in my center. Or was it Tuesdays? Could you play those bad days? Right, it was closed. So then they were yes, kids were getting super upset that you came in the back for my classes, but then you couldn't come play. And so I was like, well, this isn't working out good. We are really mad kids. So that was another thing, yeah, doing the split. And yeah, I die at 12:30. Like,
Is it something that the parent has to be there with them?
yes, that's another thing. So when I did my numbers for trampoline park, parents technically have to be there, but if you go to the trampoline park ever, that's actually not very monitored. Well, we're monitored. So that was another thing that I've learned is that's a big selling point. So some of my classes are now drop off for an hour so that to get parents to sign up for them, because before you had to be there, you won't have to be there all fall. To play you have to, but not for the classes. So that's been a learning curve too of that people want a place that they can drop their kid off and in my place you have to stay.
A lot of times they like to drop their kid off so they can go do stuff.
Yeah. Which would be great if I was like Sky and could, if I got sued, I had the liability for that. But for me, I'm like, I'm just growing and I can't afford a lawsuit if something happened.
What if you provide a waiver?
I do have a waiver when you're there with your kid. So, but your insurance policy with kids goes way high when the parent's not there. Like it's a very large number that I just couldn't afford at the time of starting my business. So I have a waiver when parents are there that they're liable in the classes, but for just open play, it puts you in a different category. Kids, I've also learned when you go to the kid world, if you're planning to your business in the kid world, it just really gets sticky and serious, which is great. It's great. But as a business side, it's very stressful to toe that line and make sure that you're not hitting certain things.
It's like the senior living home that I work at.
Yeah, probably, yeah, there's just so many things that go wrong. And even like how I speak, like categorizing, like today in the newspaper, it went into downtown, I'm categorized as this new license, and they categorize it as daycare. But KDHED, like, they can't categorize as that, or I will be like, I can't go that route. And so it's just been tricky to like figure that all out. And everyone uses codes differently, which is why your architect is like your favorite person when you're, I call him now and he's not even building anything for me now. It's like, I don't understand these codes. They're not matching up. So he's been just great at figuring that out for me and just understanding like the problem, where the miscommunication is. So, but it's still a big learning curve, and hopefully we're just still kicking. I kept my teacher license just in case. So I hope it stays alive, but just in case. We have another 5 years. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So I just took it just in case.
In case you want to offer some courses at the center.
Right. Yes. Although it's been funny in my license, I've also learned that it doesn't qualify me for anything. My degree doesn't qualify me for anything going to the center route. So I've had to take so much. I've been in school for the last 3 months, like a lot of extra classes. So I've been going back to school for a lot of things.
If you have time with kids to come there, could I come play in this?
No, that's up to you. I don't require it. That's up to you. I know my parents always say that I should offer like a downtown play night for adults. Probably well too. Does he get annoyed when it gets ruined? Because mine does, when he works so hard at it and then a kid messes it up.
When we lived there, it was just our son,
Oh,
and Dad's playing, and so he told me, don't touch my stuff, like,
Yeah.
I'm building something. You can't say that to other people.
Yeah, mine gets really, he's like, I worked really hard on that rail. And they just ruined it. Yeah.
So do your staff have to have any kind of, what kind of training do they go through?
So it depends. I have different staff for different things. So there's 2 of us that are trained in, we have to be CPR, we have to be, we have to have all like kid things to fit under that realm. And we're the only 2 that are like drop-offs. So you'll never see anyone else at drop-offs teaching the classes. It's only ever her and I. The other staff are just like, if you were to go to Genesis and they check in, they don't need anything. But anytime the parents are not there, which is why I have them sign the waiver, because if parents are there, I am not liable for anything that happens to your child while they're there. But anytime they're not, it's only her and I just for all the extra license and stuff. Yeah.
Where did you get your waiver? Did you create it or you?
I just created it. I looked online for waivers. Actually, I looked on Off Sky because I'm like, that's got to be a pretty serious waiver because that's a lot of lawsuit.
Yeah.
So I looked at like all the fine things of theirs and went off there, and then I went off of a place in Washington, a play place that's big and has like big things, and went off there and just looked and made it work for mine.
Mhm.
Yeah. I literally would just Google every night. When I was in the first starting process, I'd just be Googling, trying to find, or be texting someone late at night and saying, where'd you find this? How do I figure this out? So that was, I forgot that at 3 a.m. why people were answering me. They didn't answer me. So yeah, but I just was always researching the next thing. Because I didn't even know that was a thing. So then I had to research what I was even looking for. So, yeah.
What would you say is step 1 to start your business?
Your business plan. Yeah. Well, your vision. Because you have to have your vision first. Like I couldn't explain what I wanted it to look like. I knew what I wanted it to look like, but like my husband even, until we opened, he was like, I get it now. I get it. And I'm like, yeah. This is what it is, but just to have that ready and then start with the business plan and looking at your numbers, because like I love my center. Honestly, I could care less if it brought in money, but my husband thinks that's not appropriate. I love it, but the business side has just been like, it's a good thing he made me do that business plan like he did, because it was, but yeah, I just learned a lot from it, like detailed business plan and talking to bankers and the chamber and going through courses, like, that's, the business side is just a whole, it's just a whole different ballgame. It's just like, it's its own beast, and if it's not your thing, it's a lot of work. Like, you're getting a whole different degree, is what I kind of felt like. I've been researching a whole different degree. I could play and do classes and do everything all day long with my life without even like skipping a beat. The big side is the running of the business. So, and a website, researching a website. I had to decide I was not going to pay like $3,000 to get it. I was like, I can figure this out. So I just researched overnight how to build a website, because that's just, everything costs a lot when you're starting out. So it was just like, oh, 3,000 here, 2,000 there. This is really a fun game. And it wasn't. So I had to cut costs, and then I had to learn it myself. So I would say, if you don't have a big budget to start out with, a plethora of money, you're going to have to just do a lot yourself and learn it. I mean, that was the problem. I just had to learn a lot myself to cut. I mean, I never have even painted a wall before this year. And if you go to my center, we did the entire floor, and it is 3,700 square feet. And I just every night just trucked away at it. And little blisters would get 4 rows done and then come home, and then 4 rows done and painted every one of those walls. So
What have you found is your best marketing tool? Has it been a website or Facebook, or how do you get the word out?
So the parade was really good last night, and then honestly, I can't figure that. Like, I've done Facebook, but like my sister informed me I'm not a young mom anymore. Apparently, I'm an old mom. So she informed me I need to move to Instagram. So we have a TikTok now. Actually, we do. I opened up about a month ago. We have a TikTok, and we have an Instagram now, and I just am not good at it. And so I'm just figuring out, because she's like, well, you're not like, you're a Facebook mom. That's like the old generation. I said, what? 31. She was like, yeah, you gotta get to the Instagram or something. So I'm actually just trying to figure that out now, because I didn't know that. I didn't even know that was a thing. But luckily, I think Salina's old souls, so I think Right, I think we're old souls, so I'm like Facebook. And then I'm actually getting ready. I just talked to someone to see if I can get a billboard. So I don't know if that will do anything, but I'm trying to like billboard. I just today called them to see what that even looks like, or what kind of price that is. And then like the parade and just word of mouth. Now you'll see, like, very rarely will you see me in regular clothes. I'm just always wearing my logo. Everywhere we go, I'm just wearing my logo, and people ask and try to get it out there. So,
Do you offer like monthly unlimited?
memberships?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, we have 2 different memberships. We have a year one, which saves you like a load of money. And then we have monthly ones. So you can choose either one. They get you a discount on your classes as well. And originally I wasn't going to do that. That also kind of hurt me. In my business plan, I didn't think of memberships. And then everyone was like, where's your memberships? And so then I had to revamp it. That also, when you do a membership, I mean, it's for a kid and an adult, it's $12 to play with me, and my membership per month is $39. So if they come only 4 times, like just 2 people, and that's for a family of 4 is $39. So it really does, it just had to change, but I had to offer it because people were like, where is your memberships? And I didn't have that in the business plan. So it really changed the course of income when I started this, which is fine.
How many members do you have right now? Approximately, that have big.
I would say yearly memberships, I'm up to 20
Okay.
year. And then I also heard when you're in your first year, people just don't trust it, so they won't get yearly memberships. That's just what people told me, because they don't trust you're gonna stay alive. I mean, I'm just trying to make it work and stay afloat. So I get it. Like, I hope I make it till next year, but I don't know. And then I had it, so summer I had a lot, but they just canceled their monthly membership because they're going back to school. But I had over 40 for the summer. 2 months, which it is guaranteed income, which is nice. Like, I knew it was coming in, it's there, but like that's gone now. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna bring in that extra money. So
More membership.
Do you get a lot of field trips?
That's-
If you bring the kids in, and the kids get.
Childcare centers, preschools.
yes, so we started that. So that's another thing we're getting out. So we had just started in March, and I probably had 20 field trips, which was really nice, but we charged the teacher side of me. See, this is where it kid hits each other because the teachers like me wanting it cheap and just for everyone to be available, my center to be able. My price is really cheap for that, so I just don't make very much. I don't make tons of money off of my field trips. Just because I want the kids to play. I worked at Oakdale and then I worked at User, and they're both low income schools. So like my heart is just get the kids in and let them play, which is a default as well because the business side really doesn't like that. But I just can't get around. Like, I mean, I just paired up with Big Brothers Big Sisters. We're paired up with DCF. We're paired up with childcare, parents as teachers, like all those people. And I just give them a deal because I just want the kids to have the opportunity to play. I just think that's what's wrong with society now. I know a parent came in and was like, can you do a workstation here so my kid can just like play when I work? And I said, no, that's what's wrong. I'm a kindergarten teacher. I watched this happen. I can't watch this happen anymore. So no, you won't see it in my facility ever. You just won't see it because I just can't. I just think we just need to get back to like play and learning how to play with your child and doing that instead of being stuck on technology. And so, yeah, I really encourage the play part.
So how many days a week are you open?
That's a change. I was open Tuesday through Sunday, but in this town, I learned Sundays just, I get now why places are closed on Sunday. At first, I was like, I wanted to give an opportunity. Like, why is anything open on Sundays? Let's open my facility. I get now this town is just not a town for Sundays. So starting on 15th, I will be closed only for private parties. You can book private parties on Sundays, but I will not be open to the public because it is just.
Have you tracked like the usage per day, each day to see if it's actually worth being open? Or maybe limit to cutting down on the days you're open, so people know. So
Yeah, so that's why I'm changing the hours from 1. So like that's and then Sundays. I'm hoping just like lowering my hours, but changing the times of them. Because staffing too, we have to pay them. And I'm just losing money on staff and the electric bill in these hot summers. So I'm just like losing a lot of money on those days. So yeah, that was the best part too, was my system tracking. If you're going to do an open business like that where you need to track things, I would definitely say have a system that tracks it for you because I wouldn't have had a clue. I mean, it even tracks what I'm selling. So like if it's at camp that day, if it's whatever, so I can see like how much money is actually just like my hours based off of if someone just books a party that day. I can look at all that tracking through my system. I use Square. Just Square, it has all the reports and everything. So it's worked. And then I'm just getting in the process of using bookkeeping. QuickBooks. My accountant, he's charging me a lot of money for QuickBooks, so I have to cut something for his duties. So I'm learning QuickBooks, and it's not a fun time.
If I can learn QuickBooks, anybody can.
I had a meeting with him the other day, and I said, you just gotta stop. I gotta figure this out real quick. You just do like 2 hours of stuff out again. So, yeah. So now I'm tracking through QuickBooks too, which I'm hoping my Square is my point of sale. So I'm hoping I can take some of that off so that means you can get a fee for Square. So I'm hoping I'm kind of like field trips, so I wouldn't have to put that through there to track it. I can just put it through my QuickBooks and it saves me the percentage of whatever they're charging me. But I'm not there yet. That's just not my like. I'm trying to get there so that he stops charging me, but I'm not there yet. So.
I'm going to circle back to the pitch competition.
Yeah.
Did you, and you know, once it was over, in my mind it was over, but did you receive any feedback from the judges? And if so, what did you implement based on their feedback?
So I did not.
Okay.
But the backside, the one nice thing is you don't know what you scored with the video, and you don't see your scores, like they just announced the winner. So you have no idea like if you scored low on something or whatever. So that was interesting because the day after is when they kick you all the scores in, what judge scored you what. So that was an interesting thing. So I was like, oh, I remember judge 1 like 1. But so that was kind of interesting because I could see which one like scored me low or scored me high. And then you saw everyone else's scores as well. So the feedback wasn't there, but it showed like what the scores were. And then I saw a couple of people's videos and I was like, oh, that would be why I was lower on that one. But that would have been helpful just to know like why or what
Yeah.
the reason. I mean, how they picked, like just because you know in the first place, but like where it was different, because we were in the exact same field. So, yeah. So, but it was probably on the video because I watched that. It was good. Black girl, so.
Have you used your video?
Huh?
Have you used your video on social media or anything else?
No, I just throw up lives all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I don't use that one, but this has actually been I've kept this from the pitch challenge. And I've done a couple other presentations, so I just changed the last slide, like this one I didn't have on the last slide, but the other ones I just keep it and switch out the pictures and use it.
Okay, everyone grab your phone and go like Kids Creative Corner on Facebook.
Yes, all of us, I try to update everything. I try to stay pretty close. I have a lot of timers on my phone. When to update the website, when to change things, and then, yeah, trying to answer people. Staffing has been interesting just because it's my vision, so I have a passion. So if you have staff, I would say it's a little bit challenging. I have great staff, but it's not their baby. They have nothing to lose. So that's been one thing. It's my baby, and when there's a mess up, it's not on them, it's on me. So that's been something that's been kind of interesting because, when I was a teacher, it's on me, it's like a little scale. Now you're in the public eye, you're a grand scale. So when it's a mess up, I feel like it's a lot bigger of a mess up. So,
Because like in your position, you're starting a new business and one bad thing gets out and
yes.
it can definitely inhibit your progress and your
Right. Well,
viability.
and the lady who didn't make an image shop, that was like her downfall. She would just like not be open when she said she was going to be, and stuff like that, and then couldn't get it going. And so you can't ever take a vacation. I took a vacation last weekend. I got off the 5-hour flight and I had 3 messages saying I was closed, and I was like, why am I closed? Well, someone didn't show up, but I was on a plane and I couldn't answer my phone, and a staff member didn't show up for their shift, and so my facility was closed and people were waiting, and it didn't affect them. I had the messages and people mad. So then
they're still employed.
that was our first Friday now. So it's in my employee handbook. Yeah, that was in
Your employee of the month.
employee handbook. Handbook, yeah, that's,
I thought it was my employee of the month.
no. But that was one thing. So then to make up for it, not only did I lose money and they were mad, but then I gave them free plays. So I said, come in, I'm so sorry, I'll give you free play classes. So now I'm out just $50 right there when I could have made 30, so now I'm out 80, bucks from just a simple mess up of something that I was on a flight and couldn't get there, and my staff didn't go. So yeah, it's just a learning curve. So
So how many hours do your employees typically work? Do you have any that are like almost like a full time?
I had one. So she is amazing. I really hope I can make her a director if I can get going with finances. But she is like my full time. And then we have some weekend staff because she works just during the week. Weekend staff, and then I have like 1 or 2 on call people. But now, and that was before, so I opened and I was still teaching. So that was the other thing. It was really fresh, like hard, because there were some days we just had to close. I had my dad come work one day because I didn't have employees. I couldn't leave. I was out of days, and so that will be really refreshing this year. I'll be there, so when someone can't work, I just have my boys and I go work. Where before that wasn't possible, so I'm excited for that. And I'm a control freak, so I can run the field trips now, where before I was having staff run the field trips, which stressed me out. But now I can run it.
You learn that, even though you may own the business kind of owns you.
Yes, I find out it's a lot more, honestly, it's a lot more work than I ever thought it. Yeah, it consumes my world.
But the thing is, that's how it is when you start out. As you grow, if you grow it enough, you can step.
Yeah.
Get to the point where.
Well, and at the project, Todd Welsh, he gave us actually the best advice at the competition. He said, build a business that you don't have to be there. And so that was one thing that, like, my staff, because everyone's like, oh, so are you working 8 to 5? And I'm like, no, I have staff for that. I teach the classes. Hopefully when the classes get up, I can bring someone in to help teach classes. But I had never heard that before. And he said, no, you build a business that you don't plan on being there, because then you kind of can get a life. Like there's a way out after like the heap of everything. There's a way out.
You're building your team.
Yeah. So, and And she said, oh, honey, I almost thought I was closing at year 2. And she's like, you just keep trucking, and if you can make it to year 3, you're gonna make it. It may not be tons of money, but I'm a teacher, so I don't care really about that because I don't make anything anyways. So that's not why I'm doing it. So I just call her like when I'm in my really sad days. Like, this book was awful. I just looked at the books and I drink my wine and walk away. But she's like, it's okay. I thought I was gonna close. I was really ready to make the announcement, and then you just find a way. So,
Yeah, do you pay yourself first? Or
no,
do you
I'm not making any money right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the other thing to remember when you start out. Are you going to pay yourself?
Yeah.
Which most of us say, pay yourself, but you can't always, depending on.
And there's no way I'm paying myself right now if I want to even stay afloat. No.
That's where you have that resources available to make up for. Have your husband probably help some, because there's an
Yes.
income coming in.
Yeah. That was a big thing. Because really I was just gonna stay home. I was like, that's just not my thing. And so yeah, we were actually just looking. He's actually been really calm because I'm like, oh my gosh, my last paycheck from the teaching world stops. This month is my last paycheck. And I'm like, and then insurance goes away, and I'm not making any money. We've been on since February, and I'm not bringing in any income. We'll figure it out. Yeah. He did tell me I stopped being as bougie.
Have your support system.
Yeah, because his world starts leaving, so, and I've actually been taking my boys to a couple classes, my 2 little ones, because they have to be part of my world in this business, so, their last day of daycare is tomorrow, so they have to be in my world. And so, yeah.
So if you're training up for business, they take over as they get older.
They're only 15 months apart, and they're 2 boys. They're doing it right now. Like my husband said the other day, I don't know why you never want to be known. Right now. Why would you choose that? We're getting there. So, but yeah, it's definitely a learning curve. And it's always a learning curve. There's not like a downtime. Every time I think I'm a ducks in a row, there's all over the place again. So.
And it's a changing world.
Yeah. And just even the classes, like, so one person like, well, can you offer the class on Wednesday? Well, I could try, but no, that doesn't work with anyone else. So it's just, yeah. And like you said, every community is so different. Like, I based it off of someone else's hours, and that doesn't work in this community at all. So what worked in her community doesn't even
You
make
start with
sense.
the base and you do the adjustment, because
Yeah.
that's what you're doing, is just reevaluating periodically and just seeing.
And they told me to change with the season. So like my hours, people get mad if you just like randomly change. So I'm waiting for the fall school start to change my hours. So summer as well, I waited till like the first day of summer break to make summer hours. So that was the one thing, like don't like it's the someone I don't remember who when I first started said, you have to give yourself a 3-month grace. So whenever you start, you have to keep it for 3 months before you change it. Because people get mad if they feel like you're that inconsistent.
Are you going to maintain your fall hours through Christmas?
They're going to be all year. Well, hopefully. I mean, that's my plan.
Are you to alter it during Christmas? Are you going to change during the Christmas break?
No. I just, I close for camp sometimes, but I let people know like pretty far in advance when I close. And actually, we're doing a test run next week where my camp is going to run when I'm open to the facility. And I did a camp this week. That I'm running and just kind of doing a couple, because I only have 2 camps left. So I did a test run of each camp before I launch next summer. So yeah, we're in the test run process right now of everything for both camps, just to see if we can run it or if we need to reevaluate how we're going to structure it next summer. Because camps are they're a big income for me. Running kids camps. So I'm around the world one this week. So today we went to France.
France. All right.
Yeah. Yesterday went to Mexico and then started in China. Tomorrow we're going to London. So, yeah.
Are you allowed to sell anything in your store?
I do. I sell sensory kits, and that's about it right now, just for what I can handle right now. But That is another thing. I'm a service, so that was another thing I learned. Selling, so I have to be on my side. If I'm selling something, there's a tax to it. If it's a service, I'm not. So I had to be really, like, I always have to make sure my stuff. And then downtown is a different sales tax. So, yeah, don't mess up on that, because I messed up on that on the first, like, 10 things I sold, and I ate that percentage.
What is the percentage downtown?
It's like 10.25.
Okay, so it's another percent.
It's on.
4%.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was glad actually someone downtown bought something from me and said, why is your sales tax this? And I said, what do you mean? I set it up for Salina, and she goes, downtown, you're in the district where it's more. I am. So I'm so glad she caught that, because I would have never had a clue that it was different, but I would have been taxed.
That was different. I didn't know what that percentage was. So it's a full percent.
Mhm.
So that was a learning curve too. I was like, oh, okay. So I was so thankful that she emailed me and asked me why my percentage was different, why my tax was different than hers. I was like, I don't know. So, and it was very early on, thank gosh. So, yeah. That's everything downtown, your tax. That might be other places too. Is that just a downtown thing?
Yeah, I think it's part of that STAR bond that did the
Yeah.
revitalization.
Oh, yeah, I didn't.
Goes
know
back
that.
into.
You can qualify to get some of that back to help you like hire security or to improvements.
And there is for downtown, there's also a grant if you're wanting a building. It's like the outside structure, you can get somebody back. But you have to be the owner of the building, but your owner can go for it. So like I'm ready, and he said he would, but I didn't qualify enough. Like I didn't have anything going on the outside to meet that, but there is that too. There's a grant if you want a building downtown, you get like a percent back from your build. So that would be something I'd say to look into if you want to come downtown. I don't know if that's a slide, I think it's just downtown.
Yeah, that's through Salina downtown.
Yeah, but that was really cool, I thought. And you just have to have your owner of your building on board.
Robin, do you know if there's any other, because I know the Salina has their additional tax. I don't think there's anyplace else that has,
I mean, within Salina,
within Salina.
it's just
I
that
think it's
downtown.
just the downtown area.
business district.
But do they have it for, they've got those economic development areas for the like low income thing? Salina, I think.
That's the opportunity zone,
Yeah.
and I think downtown is,
I think that house pretty close to it. It might be on the edge.
I think
It might
downtown's
be just
part of it.
outside of it.
That's a whole weird capital gains for 10 years. I don't understand
There's a lot, but I was like,
over my
okay.
head.
Yeah.
A lot of things we're trying to find a location to consider.
Well, the right here in Salina is just, I don't know if you guys have had ventures to look at buildings. Wow. That might be everywhere, but I was quite amazed looking for buildings. This one actually, luckily, just kind of fell in my lap of what is kind of a good price, but it's still, that's why if you could start it from your home or like a little venue, I would say go that route. It's a lot of money a month I make. It's a very sad check I hand over. And that was the cheapest by far I could find. If you go, I did find out if you go, there's like a line, but if you're on the south side of town, it is like really expensive. If you're on the south side, if you try to get a place on the south side of town. Like, it's expensive.
It depends on who owns the property.
Yeah, so, and I got someone local, so that made a big difference too. I didn't go commercial, the owners of my building are local, and so they're just like amazing people to work for rent from. So that would be another thing. I'd be good rent for it. I'm glad I went with someone local instead of just a commercial, because they value, he wants me, it's his hometown, so he wants me to succeed just as much and stuff. And so he's just really been helpful. He'll walk over and help me with things instead of just trying to figure stuff out.
So on your renovation, did you fund it all, or did your owner of the building participate in that?
So the only thing they did, we negotiated for a longer lease, so I have a longer lease, but my bathrooms, because I'm a kid place, different stipulations. So the bathrooms were not up to whatever code it needed to be a kid center. So they did that, which was a nice little chunk. And then he was actually waiting for someone to just come in the windows in front. So I actually got new windows and back doors because mine were not matching fire code for kids. So it was, I mean, it was a really good deal that I got, but I would definitely say negotiate your deals. Like we went tit for tat for a couple of things. And luckily, like I said, commercial people didn't care what I negotiated, they just said no to me. But the local man he said, yeah, let's figure this out. We negotiated where, the one from California, that guy, he didn't care at all what I was negotiating, what I asked for. So, yeah, that was a big thing there, getting someone local, a building. So, and downtown's starting to pop, so come downtown. It's starting to be really cool. It is. Prickly Pear's pop open right across from me.
When are they opening?
Oh, it's not open yet?
Well, I problems, I don't know. They were supposed to be on like March or something. But it looks beautiful. It looks like it's ready to go. I don't know when it actually opens, but it looks beautiful.
You got that ice cream shop that's on the corner of 7th.
Yeah, they just opened that one too.
The point.
And they had tables outside today when I went by. It's like, but they're closed. It's like, I'm thinking, okay, you put tables outside. That's not
They look
necessarily.
pretty, yeah.
I've heard they're only starting to open in the evenings.
Yeah.
Which I guess is good because I work right across the street, which would be really bad.
Ice cream and alcohol.
There's a DJ there?
That's what I heard. I've never.
What's it called?
The point.
The point.
Oh, I did see, they were serving alcohol there too. That must be the DJ, but I did see that.
It's like a cold stone where they smooth it out, they mix everything. and
Oh, the
they
roll.
And then they roll it, yeah.
And if you haven't been to the Jamaican,
Oh, Auntie Rita's.
the smell just overtakes the whole downtown. I'm like, I had to read the other day. So, yeah. And parking if you're looking downtown. I have a lot, that's what my kids both ways, so that's why I got it, because I have Santa Fe and then I have a big parking lot, a public parking lot in the back, so you can park either side, which was a big thing, because parking, building like a downtown is like, I have a big lot behind me. So, that was really big. I just have to get that out there, that's everything, social media, but I don't know how else to tell people, I have a back parking lot too, so.
So you got a rear entrance and a front entrance.
And I had to have that for a kid center, so that's the other thing, I had to have multiple exits to be with fire marshal, so.
And a lot of times, you got a rear exit, but sometimes you don't have it open. And that's, so you got both up.
Yeah, I have to have them open.
Yeah.
And that's why I had to have those special doors too. Yeah, my doors didn't meet codes, so they had to give me I had to get new doors on both sides. But that's when you find a great architect. I didn't know any of that when I started to look for buildings. I told him what my vision was, he looked all the pretty codes for me and then said, okay, well, this building, we would walk in, he said, well, this is gonna work for you. You're not even gonna just walk out. Okay, and then we'd go to the next building with our realtor and say, oh, will this work for what I'm envisioning? Yes, this one will be okay. You can start looking. Okay. So that was he was like the first person when we first started. I met with the architect and did the design of what I thought, not the building, but like what I was envisioning. And then we started looking for properties.
So you got an architect before you even locate your property.
I did because when I went to look first and then I thought I found a property and then they told me that didn't work, I was like, well, that's not really nice. Like I found just a property on my own that I was
How
going
do
to
you
look at.
know to get your architect first? 'Cause I don't even think about having an architect first. I'd be doing everything else and then find the architect that.
So I guess I didn't find an architect, but I guess I looked for construction. I thought that's where you started. I didn't know where you even started the process, honestly. I just was calling people. So I called a Restore, it was my contractor. I called him first. So I was like, I don't know, let me get a contractor. And then he's like, oh, who's your architect? I was like, I don't know. What do you mean? He's like, go get an architect. He's like, that's who we work through. I was like, oh, okay. So then I actually asked the building I thought I liked. I just went over and asked who owned it. And luckily it was the guy next door. And I was like, who's your architect? And so then when we started looking and then I finalized on that building, he's like, well, this works good. This is our architect too. So, yeah, and I did 2 bids. So I did do 2 bids for builders once I did it, which I would definitely say get multiple bids, because it was a $50,000 difference in the 2 bids I got. Yeah, which was amazing for the exact same project. Yeah, yeah, when I got the first one, I just, no, that's not working. I can't, that doesn't work for anyone. My dreams crushed. That's never with right here.
That's good, you know, you need to change the layout of wherever you went, because you had certain things
Yeah.
you needed because you envisioned what you wanted to do.
And I also found out in the construction world, it makes a difference if you want full walls or half walls. So if you're trying to cut cost places, go half walls because you can actually do that. Contractor does. We usually were really trying to find loopholes after, I mean, to get this up and running costs a lot of money. So we had to find a couple loopholes. So, yeah. Now we just trying to make things good. But the goal, if you start a business, go for the grant, because that was like a lifesaver in the crunch time of me winning that grant. Was $5,000 goes a long way once you started. So yeah, go open your business and anytime before that goes up, go for that grant. Can't hurt. The third place winners, it was really nice. My husband was actually part owner in that one, so we felt really good that day. Yeah, he didn't go up there with that one because he didn't want to compete with both of us. But so that was kind of cool to watch us both go up against each other.
Any other questions for Tia? Well, we're shooting, but yeah, thank you for coming. I checked the date, I think the tentative date for the next pitch competition is March 24th. So we'll have all of that information will roll out in the next couple of months. If you're not a member of the StartUp Salina Facebook group or the Salina EDO Facebook page,
Is
or
that how
the
you find
chamber.
out about the grant or the project? Because everyone's like, how'd you find out about it? The chamber sent me the email, so how do you?
Well,
follow there?
it's, yeah, but you can follow the chamber, you can follow the EDO, you can be on the StartUp Salina Facebook group. The temple will post stuff because they're part of it. K-State Salina, well, it's not K-State Salina anymore, but they'll always be K-State Salina. Kansas Wesleyan, who else is involved in that? But yeah, but if you signed up tonight, then I'll automatically put you on the StartUp Salina email list, but I don't spam. I only send a couple of emails out a month, but we'll send all of that information out
In March, still?
March 24th.
So what happens if you start a business beforehand?
That's fine. You can't be in business longer than 3 years
Okay.
to qualify. And it's you apply all online, so you'll submit your business plan online, you'll submit your
They make it really easy.
video online, and then the judges do all of their scoring in that same database.
You need to take the project over class,
Yeah.
that's what this is. And they'll have us a couple times throughout the year, and this is the next one. They're free, they're at K-State. It's a great thing to take.
And once you complete these classes, you'll pretty much have your business plan model done.
As long as you say you have like 20 pages of your business plan.
Yeah, but I went off my husband. So my husband took the class and built his business plan so he owns 2 businesses himself before. So that's really why I didn't have to, because he built it with them. And then he just said, this is what you need.
Because I was like, I wrote my business plan, and I was like, I only had 2 pages.
So I think, I had to have all the children I put everything in. So like, I really do think because I'm a children's, it really just was a game. And it just put me into a whole different.
What's your business?
So I want to start a business where, I opened an LLC for a WeHaul, it's called, so it'll be like Uber, but for your appliances. So like, pretty much anybody that owns a pickup truck can sign up like a driver. Anybody so that anything they can fit in the pickup truck can be hauled off.
People need to go
Yeah.
and don't.
But-
Yeah. That's a great.
Well, like my mom, I need to go to Salina or just.
Yeah.
Because I had my business plan when I started was also like 3 pages, and I was like, I have so much information, like I'm so good. Yeah, the lady was like, you have nothing.
Yeah.
Like, no, here's 3 pages of things that you need in it, and I ended up, it was 38 pages with the.
Which yours is
appendices.
medical, so.
Yeah, yeah. So it was,
Each one's going to vary depending
yeah.
competition and also your challenges and.
Yeah, but like for that, you don't have like competition to, I mean, other than like your actual like
Yeah.
Lowe's and Menards.
Well, cause like for people, like I think Uber, like 1099 everybody, so I wouldn't have any employees
Yeah.
that I know of. So,
Are you gonna need a loan for it? Honestly,
don't
that's
think-
where your business plan really comes in. You
Yeah,
just need it
well,
for
see,
the
I don't know.
business, so the
Well,
chamber and stuff.
there's a lot of, cause I have to go to the website, and the website was like $8,000, so.
And you know, if you're, you know, you're gonna have some liability, so you're gonna have to, you don't wanna consult with an attorney. Make sure you got all that information in your business plan. You know, the liabilities. that you-
Yeah, cause you know, some calls, some breaks, yeah, damages, some big.
And each one's gonna be different, so, you know.
So I definitely get some waivers, some legal stuff.
So is this
Okay, so
process
here's the thing.
beneficial if you already have a business plan?
It's, if you want to go through Project Open, which is gap funding, you have to go through the class.
But
Like,
if,
Like if you qualify for a loan, but it's not enough to start your business, then Project Open can come in and kind of fill that gap.
so I got what do you call it? My loan is it's the gap. Might be it's through like the chamber or something.
Yeah, it's
the
Project
gap,
Open.
the gap loan.
It's
Yeah,
through
so that's
Project
what
Open.
my bank would only give me. Once again, I don't even know this is- but they only give us so much because we were only willing for collateral for so much, and so when we needed the amount, we moved it and they called it like a gap loan, and then you could also apply for the $5,000 grant. We just didn't get it, but it can be a part of your loan.
But they also go through like marketing, reading financial statements. It's not just for your business plan, but that is one component.
She is, she's an accountant, but she is just a dynamo and she makes it fun. It's, the spreadsheets are so overwhelming.
But if you have questions, I would contact Renee at the chamber. She oversees the Project Open. She'd be more than happy to answer your questions.
Like you said, if you got a business plan, you've got something, it probably needs to be beefed up some. If you got that to build from, it's always great to, also their score.
I was just gonna speak into it.
Go ahead, Robert.
SCORE is the Senior Corps of Retired Executives. There's not a chapter here in Salina, but we partner with the SCORE chapter in Wichita. So we can, if you contact our office, then Mitch can get in contact with someone from Wichita and they can come down and look at your business plan or meet up digitally.
And they do webinars as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
They've come down here for some, and then they've
Yeah, we
also
need
done webinars in Wichita. And they give you usually a contact, so you can even email your information once you make contact with them. And then after they talk with you, you can email it to them, and they'll look it over and they'll give you feedback on the different things. So that's another good source.
I would talk to a lawyer too in your case,
Yeah.
just for the liability, because I got a lawyer when I was trying to figure out what I needed in my handbook and to protect me in my waiver, what my waiver should say. He looked over it, and then my insurance liability, I had him look over absolutely everything so that I feel like in your business with people moving things and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's gonna be like, so like, the drivers won't be doing any of the work, like, so the driver pulls up, customer loads it up, and then the customer unloads it.
Yeah. But I wonder in your waiver, if you're gonna need or something, you're gonna need like,
Yeah, there's gonna have to be.
I just feel like everyone sues everyone these days, so I just want to know like everything
Yeah.
that I implement, I'm like,
Kansas Legal Service offers some like help with some of that stuff. One of my friends is a lawyer, so.
Because I was thinking like, so like, the vehicles are already insured, and then people's home insurance is already insurance your stuff. So like, I didn't know that, but like,